So right now I'm in a hotel room in Dallas, Texas, which um, I didn't really tell anybody I was going here, like except a couple people in case I died or something like that. But I'm coming down here because I get to go to Computer Reset, which is a big computer warehouse full of old computer parts. Just look up on YouTube LGR Computer Reset. And he has a great video on there what this place is all about, and they've done so much work since then because it looked before like it was honestly dangerous to go in this place. But they've had some volunteers who have been out working. I mean, it's been over a year since I heard about it. I think it was a year ago in April or May, something like that, that I first learned about this place. And they tried to open it up to the public, but then they wanted to get it cleaned up after all the attention that it got. And then they wanted to start having people come in, but then COVID hit, and so now finally they were able to get some people into the building, and we have a small group of us. Like this place is really like it's a warehouse. It is huge, just jam packed full of old computers and stuff that goes back to the 80s. And so I'm interested in some of that stuff. I'm hoping to find some cool stuff from the 90s too, and maybe even early 2000s. So I'm looking not for anything like super specific, just stuff that jumps out at me. Maybe some Packard Bell stuff or some Gateway stuff, obviously. I got a friend of mine who wants like a ThinkPad and maybe some like rack storage solution stuff, things like that. I have no idea what I'm going to find. There's no, like, if you talk to the people who run it, there's way too much to even go through and catalog and inventory. So all I really know is what I've seen in pictures, and what you see in pictures is just like the first layer of stuff. So I'm excited to just go see. I know there's going to be cool stuff in there, and I'm going to pick up probably way too much, but it should be a lot of fun. So I want to get some sleep because it was a 8-hour drive to get down here. It's almost midnight now, and I get in at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I'm going to catch some Z's, and hopefully I can report back and let you know how it goes. So right now I'm somewhere north of Oklahoma City, a little over halfway home, and so I went down to Dallas to Computer Reset, and it was fantastic. It's really for a guy like me, totally worth the drive and worth going down and taking the time. I mean, I took off yesterday, Friday, at about 3 o'clock, and I didn't get to my hotel room until 11:30. I mean, that's quite the drive. I'm probably not going to get home. Let's see, right now it's 4 o'clock, and I've got at least another 3 hours to go before I get home. So it's a lot of driving, that's for sure. But Computer Reset, just a little bit more detail on what it is. There's a gentleman who lives in Texas who also had this warehouse slash computer business where he repaired computers, I believe, and he also just stockpiled a bunch of stuff. When businesses were upgrading equipment, you could go and you could buy their old equipment, just like pallets of it and pallets of it. And that's what he would do. He'd buy that stuff with the intention to resell it, and I'm sure he resold a good amount of it, but there is so much stuff in there. So much. And I was in there for 2 hours. We got from 9 until 11, and I would go into a room, and I'd spend 20 minutes in one room just looking through stuff, and then all of a sudden I'd go back and a different room and a different room, and then I'd go back in the warehouse, and I'm like, well, let's go back in there and see what I can find. I'd find stuff that I didn't even see the first time. So cool. So much fun to go around. A great group of people that are helping to do this. This is a place that easily could have got sold off to somebody, and they just would have scrapped everything. And I can't convey the volume of stuff. So there's a Facebook group, which is one of the few things I'm on Facebook for. is this computer reset warehouse liquidation Facebook group. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you can look that up. And it almost gets to be cliche when people are like, you don't understand how much stuff is there. And so I was expecting a lot, but to describe to somebody how much stuff is there it's incredible. Like, I couldn't have, this guy brought a U-Haul van, and there's no way that entire U-Haul van would have even made a dent, even a noticeable dent in the amount of just sheer stuff that is in there. Now, a lot of the stuff, I wish I was a little bit more knowledgeable, because there's a room that was just full of motherboards, 286, 386, different sockets and stuff like that. And, I can't just off the top of my head rattle off what types of CPUs go in what socket or what kind of RAM it takes. And that's one of those things where guys like that really have an advantage. They're like, oh, this is a such and such and such. Another thing is that most of the rare stuff is gone. I'm sure there's still a few things that they're uncovering in there from time to time, but by and large, if you're going and looking for anything super rare or valuable, it's not going to be in there. And that's fine, because I wasn't looking for any of that type of stuff. I just kind of want to I like to have just little different mile markers along the way of the things that are kind of interesting, whether they're this is a perfect example of this time period, or this is kind of a weird example of this time period. That's really cool. So as far as the stuff that I got a lot of stuff. I mean, that's I don't know if you can see, I got a lot of software. They had some box software, and not games and stuff, and that's fine, because I really I think productivity software and things like that is really cool. From back in the day, the stuff that people used to get work done, and it's fun to sit and play with some of that stuff. And so I'm excited to just look through even the documentation of some of these things. So that is going to be cool. I got a few towers. I got a Micron tower with a Pentium 1. I got a Pentium 2 Dell Optiplex. I think it's a Pentium 2. I can't remember which ones are which. I got an IBM Net Vista machine. And what else? Man, I don't know. I just was grabbing stuff. It's I don't even remember everything that I got, because if I grabbed something, I almost didn't ever put it down, just because I was okay, well, just go put it in the pile, and maybe it is what I think it is, maybe it's not, I don't know, because everything is, the prices were very reasonable, and so I was just I'll just put it on there, and because I had a budget, and I just thought, if my eyes are a little bit bigger than my budget, then I'll just say, hey, I apologize, I can't afford it, can I put it back? And that didn't actually end up being the case. Part of me is I wish I would have grabbed more, but also part of me is I've looked around and I feel I got most of the stuff that, obviously off the top, just looking at it, it's yes, that's cool, I want that. Yes, that's maybe what I think it is, I want that. And so I don't feel like I went the wrong direction with anything. If anything, there's a bunch of laptops and stuff that I would have loved to have poured through, but that would have just taken so much time that you really just kind of look and see what's on the surface and move on. And if you're looking for anything specific, it just takes too much time. If you had a bunch of time to just roam around in there endlessly, sure, go through every laptop and see and pick the one that's in the best condition of the thing that you want. But I didn't have that kind of time, and so I just started grabbing stuff. And one of the cool things that I got to do, in addition to some of the stuff that I got, because I'll go through all that here later on, one of the cool things that I got to do is in Kansas City, the TWA museum, for the the airline TWA that used to fly. Well, there's a museum in Kansas City, and they got these tapes that I can't remember what the format is. I'll have to look at it when I get home. But they have an archive of these tapes, and they have no idea what's on them because they don't have the right type of player. Like, it's not a VCR, it's not a real machine, it's some kind of broadcast specific format. And they're like, well, we have these tapes, they have labels on them, but we can't pull the video and the audio off of these tapes. Well, I got their machine. so that is not something that I bought. That's something that when they heard that I was from Kansas, they're like, hey, how far are you from Kansas City? I was like, well, I mean, not close, but I get up there once in a while. So I'm going to hold on to this machine for a couple of weeks. Again, I got to look it up and just see what it is. And I will take it up, and they can get cool stuff and add to their archive, and like I'm contributing in some tiny minuscule way to archiving history. That's really cool. I think that's really cool, at least. So I'm excited to be able to help out with that. And I'm excited to go through the stuff that I got and sort it and organize it. And I got RAM sticks that I don't even know what they are. It's just like, this looks like maybe a thing I could use. And I got a stack of quantum hard drives that, they probably all don't work. And if they do work, they're probably not too far from failing. But I picked them up anyway because, I've got my SCSI to SD, but I need to go through and get that configured and set up, and I'll probably put that in my LC. But I've got a SE30 that I want to really go through and take a look at some of the stuff that needs done with that. And I only have one SCSI to SD, so hopefully these SCSI drives, at least one of them works for a little bit. We'll see. From when I opened up the other drive, it was pretty obvious, that the rubber inside is degrading, and so if that one's doing it, they're all doing it. And, it's just a matter of time before they all fail. But no, it was a heck of an experience. I didn't get to see any of Dallas other than just driving through, but holy cow, talk about a whole nother world. I got a small town country boy, and checking out the big whole city was something that was pretty remarkable too. So I wouldn't mind going back and actually spending some time there, centered around maybe another weekend when I could get in. It's just such a long drive. It'd be great to be able to fly down and ship stuff back, but that would be prohibitively expensive as well. So I don't know, we'll see. And hopefully we can just sort through this stuff that I got, and see what works and what doesn't. I imagine none of it works, but I also didn't pay too much either. So if nothing else, the experience was worth it. So hopefully here pretty quick in the next segment here, we'll at least sort through the stuff, and I can try to explain a little bit of what I picked up. All right, here it is. I've got it all unloaded. I've got all of it kind of sorted out, and so here's the haul. Oh man. Okay, so where do we start? Let's start with the most obvious one, the bloody Mac monitor. Okay, it's not blood. It actually has kind of a sparkle to it. So they thought maybe it's nail polish or something. And you're thinking, why would you pick that junk up? Because it is kind of junk. Well, the screen on this one works. The screen on this one doesn't. And this one is in a lot better shape. So hopefully I can take the guts from that and put it in that and have a pretty decent monitor for an LC that I don't have, but I would like to get someday. So yeah, that's my problem. I pick up stuff and I'm like, I don't have one of those, but someday I might, and I would want this to go with it, so I'll get that. I found another gateway. Look at that. I just got my first gateway, and now I got another one. This one's a Pentium 3, as you can see. It is a E3400, so very cool. Looking forward to turning that on, see if it works. Like, none of this stuff may work because, I mean, this stuff is all, like, incredibly, I mean, it was all dirty. I've wiped most of this stuff down already, so we'll see. And a lot of stuff I just picked up because, like, it looked cool. I got this IBM Net Vista, which, you know, I got to do a little, you know, all of this stuff would be just fun projects to go through and restore. And but I like the look of that. It looked really fun to play with. It's got a Pentium 4 in there. I picked up this Dell because as time has gone on, I really like this style of case design that Dell was doing, not only for their towers, but also they had some flat optiplexes and stuff like that. They had a few of those there. I should have grabbed one, but there was so much stuff you had to unstack to get to it, and I said, I don't know. What's on top here? Oh, this is just going to be like for show, I think. I say that it's for show, but I also picked up the power adapter for it. It's a 56K US robotics modem, phone modem. So I just like the looks of those, man, because like that's what the internet future looked like back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I'm looking forward to getting that cleaned up, and I have no idea what I would possibly use it for, but very cool stuff. This is a hard drive that goes in this computer, just in case it's bad. I mean, this might be bad too. All this stuff might be bad. Who knows if it works. I picked this up because this is an S3, but this is a Diamond S3 Stealth with 64 megabytes of RAM, which is, I think, twice what that computer over there has in it. So I might try to put that in and just see how it performs. And this is just a workstation card, but it's a, I don't, I just picked it up. So much stuff, like, you pick it up and you're like, well, I might as well just throw it in because it's all just going to be part of the pile. What do we got next on the table here? I spent a lot of time in the drive room, probably more than anywhere else, and so I just picked up some unique looking CD-ROM drives, some backup CD-ROM drives, nothing too special about that. I like Creative branded stuff. I don't know why, but you know, pick that up. This is a Caddy CD-ROM drive, so I picked that up, and I do have some CD caddies that I could use to mess with that. So just kind of a cool looking drive. I picked this one up because, again, like, I'd never seen a drive door like that. And then I picked this up. This is a 5¼ inch external floppy drive, and I picked it up because, like, I guess I could hook it up to anything that has a external port for it. And like on my old, what is it, the Zenith Z100, that might work on that. There was a ton of stuff for IBM machines there. I should have picked one up, but they were all pretty rough, so I passed on that. And then I picked up this Micron case because it's a Pentium 1 machine, which I don't have any Pentium 1s, and I have a Micron monitor that would match pretty well with that. So again, it's another one of those things that I tried to, if I looked at something for more than a few seconds, I was like, I might as well get it. So and then I picked up a stack of quantum hard drives. I don't know that any of these are actually the SCSI hard drives that I need for my Mac. And all of these quantum hard drives are surely, if they're not dead already, they're about to die. So I picked that up. I got this one just because it looks to be a brand new 8 gig hard drive there. And then these are IBM stuff that may work in my Zenith. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. You know, back in the day, especially IBM stuff was almost all proprietary, and so I'm sure that it probably won't. But I mean, look how chunky these hard drives are. This is one hard drive. How cool is that? So very neat stuff. If nothing else, it's just a cool piece of history. So I got that. This stuff here I actually picked up from my friend Beebs. IBM ThinkPad R60, right? Is it R60? Yes, it is. So that was in pretty good shape. It's not perfect. Nothing at Computer Reset was perfect. Except maybe this Dell case. That is in pretty good shape. That's why I grabbed that. And then this ThinkPad here. He's like, hey, keep an eye out for ThinkPads. I picked this up, and then when I got home, I realized the screen is just trashed, completely trashed. But it might be one of those things where eBay or something, you can find a broken one pretty cheap and swap the screen out. Not too hard. So he's going to take that. Otherwise, it's in fairly decent shape. It's got a little crack down here, but again, if you can find another parts machine, put two together, make one, and then some external. Obviously, this is not going to go with that one there, but just an external bay that you can swap stuff out, and pretty cool. I forgot about the Intel Centrino processors. They did that for a while, I think, on some of their mobile processors, right? That was the mobile ones. So pretty cool. Love that rainbow design that IBM used on those ThinkPads. Alright, I'm just like going through this stuff real quick because if I take too long, this is going to be the longest video ever. Picked up a bunch of cables, especially like parallel cables and SCSI cables, because I just don't have that kind of stuff. So, you know, parallel cables, going from that to that. Parallel cables, like this is just a pass-through cable here. You know, ribbon cables. This one has a, you know, 232 to the DB25s on the end. I don't even know how that one works or what I would use it for. Here's a parallel cable that's in the box. Here's a SCSI interface kit. Here's a another SCSI card. And this, okay, I do want to take this, because I haven't even pulled this out of the box yet, so let's do it. This is labeled processor board. Now, my Zenith, for instance, super old. The processor is actually, hold on a second, here we go. I'll set you down. So the processor is actually on a whole board. Wow, look at that. Will that work in my Zenith? I have no idea. That's probably some... I have no idea, but that's cool. You've got slots for your RAM here. Cumulus 486 ISA board. No, that's definitely not going to work in the Zenith, but I'm sure it'll work for something. Because how cool is that? There's the 486 on the back there. So I'm guessing you would stick this into a machine of the day if you wanted to upgrade that to a 486. I don't know, man. Some of the stuff I'm just going to have to do some research on and see what it is. This is a Ditto drive. One thing I wanted to try to find was some zip drives, which there I didn't see any there. Those must have got cleaned out, but I did see this Ditto drive in the box. Again, no idea if it works. It didn't have any Ditto tapes, but I picked it up anyway because these iOmega case designs are so cool. So I grabbed that, and then I also grabbed a zip 750 megabyte disk. Again, I don't have a zip drive, but I'd never seen the 750, so I picked it up. Heck, why not? This one here, this is a Dell memory board, and so I picked this up because I have a Dell Power Edge server, and I think it will take this ECC RAM, but I will have to look and check. It may or may not fit, I don't know, but it was loaded up with RAM, so I was like, sure. Let's take it. And then I picked up a bunch of mice. I like these, these Apple mice. They just need cleaned up a little bit. They're pretty dirty. And then anything else that kind of looked interesting. There's this Sony Vaio mouse here that, needs a little TLC in the retro bright department. This is going to go perfect with that Net Vista, except that it'd be nice if it had a scroll wheel or a middle button. Picked up another IBM Mouse. I looked at this as I was pulling it out of the truck. I was like, why did I get this? It's kind of like scratched up and beat up, but yeah, I'll clean it up and it'll be fine. Another Apple mouse. And then I picked this up. This is just a generic, no-name 3-button mouse, but it was brand new, so I was like, sure, why not? And then they had a whole bunch of RAM. Man. So this is, right here, this is all Apple RAM. And so I think my LC that I have now is maxed out. Well, it's a Performa, but they're the same thing. And then this kind of RAM here, I don't even know what kind of RAM that is, so I just grabbed it. Again, I knew I didn't have anything like this, so I knew that, well, it might be something I someday will need. So I'll figure out what it is, label it, and go on. These are, they're called hard cards, and I'm not too familiar with them, other than they're not too reliable from what I know. But I picked some up just in case, because again, this is stuff that might work in that. I'm not sure how compatible that Zenith Z100 is with IBM stuff, but if it works, I'll throw it in there, and it'd be nice to have a little hard card storage, I guess, for as long as they last. Apparently these fail almost guaranteed, so they're like, yeah, they're probably all dead, but yeah, whatever. And then I found a Gateway keyboard, which I picked this up because this this logo will match the time period of that Gateway over there. I have the Gateway 2000 keyboard hooked up to that right now. So, okay, so much stuff. And then one of the coolest things is some of the software that I picked up. And I'm going to have fun going through this stuff, 'cause so much of this stuff is sealed. Some of it's been opened, some of it's complete, some of it's not. But like, look at this, Microsoft Mail for Windows for Workgroups. Now, like all this stuff, you can just go download off the internet, so the fact that I have this doesn't mean like, oh, now you can install these programs. I could have done that anyway, but look, what you don't get is all of this documentation. Like there's all of these. This is crazy. I love flipping through some of these manuals too. And then I got the Microsoft Mail server. So I'm curious to see if I can get this working with this, like server, client, and see and see if I can get that going. That would be a fun project for, to be honest with you, way down the road, but that will be fun. So Corel WordPerfect 8, I picked this up because I actually have this already. I have it installed on my, what is it, the Pentium 3 laptop that I have. And this is what we used as a kid. And it's got all the documentation in there. See, I don't even see the disc in there, but that's fine. Like, the disc isn't really what I was going for. I still have the disc. I didn't have all of this stuff, so clip art. Like, look at, like, stuff that's lost to time, man. Lost to time, and no one cares about it but me, but that's fine. So it's part of my history, at least. And then, so you got Corel WordPerfect 8, and then I picked up WordPerfect, and this is for something. I have no idea, but definitely older than that. So that'll be fun. And then WordPerfect for PC networks. Again, like, these are just big, heavy boxes full of paper. You know what I mean? Pre-owned software, 5 1/4, 360K discs included. So it just would be fun to, like, installing software was such a, like, fun and sometimes frustrating experience back in the day, because you really felt like you were making your computer do something new that it couldn't do before. You know, now that you can just go download any software that you want at any time instantly off the internet, like, it doesn't have as much magic as it did back then. Like, you had to work and save, or go and have somebody make copies of discs at the very least, and then you physically would insert those into your computer, and then all of a sudden your computer could do something that it never did before. So I think it's so cool, and I love going through that process of inserting disc after disc after disc and configuring and flipping through the manual to see how you use the software. It's so cool. Look at this, Microsoft Encarta. That's going to be cool. I'm just looking forward to see, because that's another thing. Like Wikipedia, which is kind of what people go to now for their encyclopedia, research type needs. But this will never change. It's on a CD-ROM. It is the way the world was in what year? Let's see, 1992. 1992. So right there, that's a moment in time. I got Microsoft Works, but this is Microsoft Works for Apple Macintosh. So I can put this on my LC once I get that working again, which will be fun. I've been using just AppleSoft or Corel or whatever they called it, which is what was installed on the hard drive, now dead. But why have Microsoft Works when you could have Microsoft Works with Quicken? I can balance my checkbook on my Macintosh. So that'll be fun. Oh god, I picked this up. This has got to be junkware, but it makes such bold claims of doubles the speed of most CD-ROMs. Like, I would love to see what this possibly could be doing. 12x speed or faster. Let's see, is that faster than any of the CD-ROMs that I've got here? 8x. 8x. That might be faster. So I'll have to see what junk that is. It's a super light box too. Lotus 123. I picked that up. Man, I don't know. Like, I love like office software and productivity software. Complete internet solution inside Netscape Navigator, Microsoft Internet Explorer, free connect time, email, and more. So this is for Windows 95 NT. But look at that. Like, they were proud of their stuff. A lot of these companies were back then. And it wasn't cheap either. So I got that. I bought all those double density discs, but it's like, you can't have too many. Those were new in the box, and man, they had a ton of those there. Should have got more. Didn't. And then I picked a couple of these up. I have a bunch of these, but I don't have any like sealed. Just Windows XP. These are OEM distributions for a new Dell. Windows 98. Then I noticed that the disc was gone, but that's fine. I've got a Windows 98, but I don't think I have the book there. Don't look at my product key. Don't steal my Windows 98. Windows NT Workstation. This I don't have, so I'm glad that has the CD. Very cool. And then, see, this is great here. I want to pick this up. MS-DOS 6. So when we had our 286, our very first, it wasn't even like a real computer. It was super outdated when we got it, because we got that 286 in the early 90s. And I remember going to Hastings in Dodge City, Kansas, and we got, it wasn't 6, but it was 6.22, because it had like DOS 4 or 5 on it at the time. And we upgraded to 6.22, and I remember being like, this is going to be so cool, because I had some games that I wanted to run that wouldn't run on the version of DOS that I had. So I don't think I bought it. Did I convince my parents to buy it maybe? I don't know. But I remember this logo and just looking at that at Hastings until one day we had it and put it in, and then my computer didn't have enough memory to run the games I wanted to run anyway. So I'm sure my parents were somewhat frustrated with that. And this is, again, something stupid. Why did I pick up? I don't know. You know, when Emma and Luke are going through my stuff, like, guaranteed this goes straight in the trash. But the reason I got it is because I want to get a printer like this someday. I didn't see any at Computer Reset. This is the DeskJet 600C. So it doesn't need to be exactly a 600C, but I always liked this style of inkjet printer. And finding one that works is going to be even harder. And it's not that I don't know how to use these things, but again, I love documentation. I love this stuff that comes from a time. Like, look at this. You've got 61 pages. More than that. Well, how many pages do we got here? Let's look. 86 pages for your printer. And it's all in English. It's not like there's multiple languages in there. Like, who's going to read that cover to cover? But it's there. I love it. Microsoft Publisher 2000. So this will be... I would love to, like, make stuff and on this old software and distribute it. I mean, this is sealed. Sealed copy. You know, Windows XP or whatnot. Is that Windows 98? I guess XP didn't come out until about 01. Microsoft PowerPoint. Look at that. $129 suggested retail price. Requires Windows 3.1. Brand new in the box. And heavy. Like, these are like textbook heavy. So, very cool to have that. And I got some... One of the volunteers there is like, hey, you want some printer paper? Sure. I don't have any of that stuff. Here's DOS 5. This is cool. IBM DOS 5. And this is the same version of DOS. I think it's MS-DOS that I have on my Zenith Z100. But I picked this up because, again, you know, it's not perfect condition, but it's sealed in the box and full of instruction manuals. Why did I get Quicken? I don't know why I got Quicken. Other than I remember seeing these all the time, especially around tax season. You know, you'd see this stuff, and I don't know if, I think, like, did they do the TurboTax thing too? Like, they've got awards. What's the date on this one? Hard to say. I thought they used to put, like, Quicken and then the year. Oh, here we go. New for 96. Online banking. Whoa. See up-to-date balances in which checks have cleared. Transfer funds anytime. Pay bills online for less than the cost of a stamp. All with this special software? See, look at this. I remember seeing this stuff, and the thought of writing a check on your computer and, like, making it do things in the real world, like, as actual money, blew my mind. Microsoft Learning DOS. So I picked this up because I'm sure it's got stuff in there that I could learn about DOS. Heck, I don't know everything about DOS, but includes lessons on MS-DOS version 5.0. So that will be fun to play with as well. And then this, man, look at that artwork. Isn't that great? IBM. This isn't, again, this is DOS 3.2, which I might put this and see if I can get this working on the Zenith, because DOS 5 on that thing is a little sketch. Like, it reports back that I have like 360 megabytes of RAM, which is not even possible on that hardware. So maybe this version might work a little bit better. But again, it's got all of the documentation that goes with it. I just love those manuals, man. I love it so much. And speaking of documentation, I pick up some books. I remember these idiots books. I had one on DOS, and that's what I learned from on how to run that computer, that 286 that we had back in the day. And I just like, I seeing some of these stuff, putting a border around your picture, improving image quality. They got screenshots in here, and these were really worded in pretty plain language that you could understand compared to some of the more technical stuff that was in the manuals. XL97. Look at this. Look at this one here. The Windows 95 Study Guide. Right? Okay. Now, look at that. Who is going to read this? Who is going to go through all of that stuff? I mean, when I was a kid, like, you just start clicking around, but it's all in here. Everything you'd ever want to know. And, it's got the CD that comes with it. And so, but you got to remember, like, back in this time, not everybody had a computer. Not everybody was familiar with them. And they were scary things. And the way you learned up until that time is you get a book. You go to the library, you read, you learn about the thing, and that's how you gain the knowledge, right? And so I love how this is from a time where computers are just starting to become prevalent, and I can just see somebody like, I really need to get on board with this whole Windows thing that everybody's doing. Let me get a book about it. That's just fantastic. And then last thing here that I picked up, Netscape Communicator 6-in-1. Boom, more information. How to click on links. What are certificates? Searching Gopher Space. Wow, that is cool. So, locating a file on the web. Just to think, like, the way that's worded, right? Like, that's just a question that you would never ask today. Like, hey, how can I locate a file on the web? Okay, I take that back. I work with some people maybe that would ask that question. But I love it. It's such a moment in time. All this stuff really is. And again, I don't know if any of it works, but it was such a fun trip to go down to Dallas and to go to Computer Reset and just see all that stuff that is in there. And man, if I got the chance to go back, I would. It's such a long trip, though, and knowing that everything that you pick up could be a crapshoot, like none of this stuff could work. I mean, the books work, for sure, but it's just such a crapshoot, and it's fun to look around. It's fun to see just all that stuff that used to be worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You know what I paid for all this? What do you think? I paid $125. Is that too much? I don't know. Like, if it works, it's not. And that keyboard there's worth $20. These towers are worth $25 each, whether they work or not. So, I don't know. I think it's fair, if nothing else. Yeah, I had a good time. More than anything, I had a good time. So, yeah. Thanks for watching this far. You're crazy. Not as crazy as I am for driving 900 miles in 2 days, but it's been a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.